picture 5,000 sailors, stranded on a ship the size of 3 football fields, months from land, zero access to Target, Walmart, or any store you've ever walked into. Now, imagine they're shopping for toothpaste at midnight, buying Starbucks, getting haircuts. Sounds impossible, right? Here's the thing. Aircraft carriers operate 5 retail operations you'd never expect, generating $20,000 a day, recycling profits back into sailor accounts, and somehow preventing theft with 0 security cameras. One of these stores determines survival, another keeps you sane, and the debate over which matters most reveals everything about human psychology under extreme isolation. 3,000 sailors wake up today. They're 500 miles from the nearest coastline. The deck beneath them produces 400,000 gallons of fresh water from ocean brine. The ship carries enough food and supplies to survive 90 days without a single resupply. This isn't just a warship, it's a floating city designed for complete independence. But there's a catch. Humans don't just need food and water, they need choice, dignity, the psychological comfort of walking into a store and deciding what to buy. Without that, morale collapses, performance degrades. The billion-dollar machine stops functioning because the minds operating it break down. The Navy learned this the hard way during early long deployments. Sailors provided with only rations and duty assignments showed declining mental health after 30 days. Depression spiked, retention plummeted. The solution wasn't more discipline, it was normalcy. Give sailors the rituals they'd have on land: morning coffee, personal grooming, choosing their own snacks. Make them feel human in an environment designed to feel anything but. So the Navy built an infrastructure most people never see. Not weapon systems, not radar arrays, retail operations, barbershops, coffee shops, a commercial ecosystem floating in the middle of international waters, managed with the professionalism of a land-based business, but facing logistical nightmares no Walmart ever imagined. Every carrier now runs 5 distinct stores, each serving a different psychological need. The ship's store stocks everything from electronics to uniform items. Unmanned micro-markets provide 24/7 self-checkout access. Starbucks programs replicate the exact coffee experience you'd get in Seattle. Barbershops maintain military grooming standards while offering moments of quiet normalcy. Even laundry services function as essential retail, providing clean uniforms and personal clothing for thousands. These aren't luxuries. They're survival infrastructure disguised as commerce. A supply department officer on the USS George H.W. Bush described these operations as professionally managed businesses floating on the ocean, complete with organized shelving, promotional displays, and inventory systems that would impress land-based managers. Daily operations handle over 1,050 transactions. Revenue averages $10,000 to $20,000 per day. Profits don't disappear into Navy accounts. They cycle back to fund crew recreation programs, creating a closed-loop economy where sailors directly benefit from their own spending. But here's where it gets fascinating. Which of these 5 operations matters most? The ship's store providing survival essentials, or the barbershop maintaining morale and discipline? The answer reveals a psychological hierarchy most people never consider. And it's more complex than simply what you need to survive. The ship's store opens at 600. Within the first hour, 200 sailors cycle through. They're buying toothpaste, soap, phone chargers, snacks, energy drinks, magazines, headphones. The aisles look eerily familiar, organized like a 7-Eleven with promotional end caps and seasonal displays. Inventory includes over 1,000 distinct items. The professionals managing this operation track every transaction, monitor stock levels, coordinate restocking schedules with military precision. By day's end, they'll process 1,050 transactions, totaling $10,000 in sales. Now multiply that by 365 days. Factor in deployment cycles lasting 6 to 9 months. You're looking at a multi-million-dollar annual retail operation floating through international waters, serving a captive population that cannot access alternatives. The pressure to maintain inventory is immense. Run out of deodorant, and you're dealing with 5,000 sailors in close quarters with degrading hygiene. Stock the wrong snack brands, and morale takes measurable hits. The store receives 50 to 80 pallets of merchandise weekly through underway replenishment, a process where supply ships pull alongside mid-ocean and transfer cargo via cranes and cables. Sailors in the hangar bay sort through 20 pallets daily, restocking shelves while the carrier continues operations. It's Walmart's supply chain meets Top Gun's aircraft operations. But the ship's store has operating hours. It closes at night. So what happens at 0200 when a sailor finishing a 12-hour shift desperately needs a snack, a bottle of water, or basic hygiene supplies? For decades, the answer was tough luck. You wait until morning. This created real problems. Sailors working irregular schedules, night shifts, emergency operations, continuous flight deck cycles couldn't access essentials when they needed them most. Enter the micromarket C. In October 2024, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower became the first carrier to deploy an unmanned, self-checkout retail space operating 24/7. No cashier, no supervision, just shelves stocked with food, beverages, toiletries, and a kiosk where sailors scan items and pay via their Navy cash card. The concept borrowed from nearly 80 similar markets operating at Navy hospitals, shipyards, and office spaces worldwide since 2015. The results? Stunning. Within 4 months, the Eisenhower's micromarket generated $200,000 in sales. More importantly, 0 theft incidents. Not one. Despite complete 24/7 access and no surveillance cameras, sailors honored the system. The cultural discipline aboard carriers proved stronger than any security measure. Christine Sturkey, Navy Exchange Service Command spokesperson, explained the psychological mechanism. This self-service initiative strengthens the Navy's quality of life mission and supports operational readiness by offering sailors convenient and accessible necessities at any time of the day. The word readiness is key. This isn't about convenience. It's about keeping 5,000 people mentally and physically functional during months-long isolation. A sailor who can't buy toothpaste at 300 is a sailor operating with degraded morale the next day. Multiply that across weeks, and you've got a readiness problem disguised as a retail problem. But the micro-market innovation solved another critical issue: manning shortages. Traditional ship stores required retail services specialists to staff counters during operating hours. Those same specialists also managed barbershops, laundry services, and other crew support operations. By automating the retail experience, the Navy freed those specialists to focus on services requiring human interaction: cutting hair, managing laundry operations, handling customer service issues. The unmanned market didn't just serve sailors better, it optimized how the Navy deployed limited personnel. Retail solves survival needs, but what about dignity? The barbershop on an aircraft carrier operates in a space roughly the size of a walk-in closet. 2 chairs, basic equipment, a single retail services specialist trained in military standard haircuts. Sailors cycle through every few weeks to maintain grooming regulations. The Navy mandates specific hair length standards, and deployment doesn't exempt anyone. But here's what the regulations don't capture: the psychological value of sitting in a chair, closing your eyes, and experiencing 10 minutes of normalcy. The barbershop isn't just about compliance. It's a moment where sailors aren't operating radar systems, launching aircraft, or standing watch. They're just getting a haircut, like they would back home. The ritual matters as much as the result. Military grooming standards exist for legitimate reasons: uniformity, discipline, professionalism. But aboard a carrier, the barbershop serves a dual function. Yes, it maintains regulations, but it also provides a micro-break from the relentless operational tempo. Sailors describe it as the closest thing to a spa day you'll get at sea. And honestly, that matters. Laundry services occupy a similar psychological space. On land, doing laundry is a chore. At sea, it's a lifeline. With thousands of personnel generating uniforms, personal clothing, linens, and towels daily, the ship's laundry operates continuously. Industrial washers and dryers process hundreds of loads per week. Sailors drop off dirty uniforms and retrieve clean ones on a scheduled rotation. The alternative, sailors washing their own clothes in sinks, would create hygiene disasters in close quarters. But beyond preventing that, the laundry service communicates a message: we care about your dignity. You will have clean clothes. You will maintain standards. Vending machines, scattered throughout the carrier, offer another micro-convenience: quick snacks between shifts, a soda during a brief break. These aren't major retail operations, but they're psychologically significant touchpoints, small moments where sailors exercise choice in an environment where most decisions are made for them. Now we arrive at the comparison the research demanded: ship's store versus barbershop. Which matters more? The intuitive answer is the ship's store. It provides survival essentials: food, hygiene products, clothing. Without it, sailors face genuine hardship. The barbershop, while valuable for morale, doesn't address life or death needs. But that framing misses something. The ship's store and barbershop aren't competitors. They're complementary systems addressing different layers of human need. Maslow's hierarchy applies here. The ship's store handles physiological and safety needs: food, hygiene, clothing. The barbershop addresses belonging and esteem needs, maintaining dignity, feeling human, connecting with normalcy. You can't choose between them. A carrier needs both. Yet if forced to declare a winner based purely on survival function, the ship's store wins. During a 90-day deployment, a sailor can survive with longer hair. They cannot survive without food, water, hygiene supplies, or clothing. The barbershop boosts morale. The ship's store sustains life. But here's the twist: the barbershop's morale function directly impacts operational readiness. A demoralized crew makes mistakes. Accidents happen. Performance degrades. So while the ship's store is more critical for immediate survival, the barbershop prevents the psychological deterioration that leads to operational failures. The real answer? Both matter. The hierarchy depends on time frame. Short-term survival, ship store. Long-term operational readiness, both systems working together. Now the impossible question: how do any of these stores stay stocked? Imagine you're the supply department officer managing a carrier's retail operations. You're responsible for maintaining inventory for 5,000 customers. Your suppliers are hundreds of miles away. You can't drive to a warehouse. You can't call for emergency deliveries. Your store is moving 30 miles per hour through international waters, and stopping isn't an option. Oh, and you're doing this while the ship conducts flight operations, launches aircraft, and maintains combat readiness. Welcome to Underway Replenishment, the logistical miracle that makes carrier retail possible. UNREP, as it's called, happens through two methods. Vertical replenishment uses helicopters to deliver cargo from supply ships to the carrier's flight deck. Connected replenishment involves supply ships pulling alongside the carrier while both vessels maintain speed and course, transferring cargo via cables and cranes stretched between the ships. Picture this: two massive ships, each displacing thousands of tons, sailing parallel at 15 knots, while sailors operate cranes transferring pallets of merchandise across 200 feet of open ocean. One miscalculation, one cable failure, one course deviation, and you're dropping cargo into the sea, or worse, causing a collision. Yet this happens routinely, weekly during extended deployments. The carrier receives 50 to 80 pallets per UNREP. Those pallets contain everything from fresh produce to toilet paper to electronics. They're delivered to the hangar bay, where retail services specialists and supply personnel sort, inventory, and distribute items to the ship's store, micro-market, food service, and other departments. The logistics planning behind UNREP is staggering. Supply officers must forecast demand weeks in advance, accounting for consumption patterns, upcoming events, holiday sales spikes, deployment milestones, and contingencies. Order too little and you face stockouts. Order too much and you waste limited storage space. Modern systems like HICS-4, the Hazardous Material Inventory Control System, have revolutionized this process. Installed on 27 ships including nuclear-powered carriers since January 2025, HICS-4 digitally tracks every item aboard. The system replicates data between ship and shore, eliminating the need to send updates by mail. Yes, that was the previous method. Captain Juan Carlos Uribe, commanding officer of NAVSUP Business Systems Center, explained the stakes. Readiness means that a ship and the crew are available and capable of performing their duties when called upon. Effective installation and continuous sustainment of logistics information systems are the digital backbone of readiness aboard Navy ships. These systems are not merely administrative tools, they are a critical warfighting enabler. Translation: If you can't track your toothpaste inventory, you can't maintain combat readiness. Supply chain failures cascade into operational failures. Jamie Strine, IT specialist managing Hicks implementation, highlighted the transformation. Systems that once required mailed updates now sync in real time, allowing shore-based logistics teams to monitor carrier inventory and proactively coordinate resupply. Here's the analogy that makes sense. Carrier stores are like running a convenience store inside a submarine sandwich shop. Everything's crammed into impossibly tight spaces, but you stock it like a real retail operation. Restocking happens via Uber Eats from the sky, helicopters delivering pallets mid-ocean, so sailors never run out even months from land. The professionalism is what shocks people. These aren't makeshift operations. They're managed with the same inventory control, merchandising strategy, and customer service standards as land-based retail, just executed in an environment where the stockroom is 500 miles away and delivery involves cables stretched between moving ships. And the revenue generated? It doesn't fund Navy operations. It funds crew quality of life. Profits from ship stores, micro markets, and specialty retail cycle directly into morale, welfare, and recreation programs. Sailors aren't just shopping, they're generating the funding for their own recreation, fitness equipment, entertainment, and family support programs. It's a closed-loop economy designed to benefit the people sustaining it. So we return to the original question, ship store or barbershop. The verdict is clear. The ship store wins on survival function. During extended deployments, access to food, hygiene supplies, clothing, and basic necessities directly sustains crew health and operational capability. The store generates $10,000 to $20,000 daily because sailors need what it provides, not because they're browsing for fun. The barbershop, while essential for maintaining military standards and boosting morale, doesn't address the same tier of human need. You can delay a haircut, you can't delay access to food or hygiene supplies. But declaring a winner misses the larger truth. These 5 crazy stores, the ship store, micro markets, Starbucks programs, barbershops, and laundry services, form an integrated quality of life ecosystem. Remove one, and the others can't compensate. Together, they transform what could be brutal psychological isolation into a manageable deployment experience. The ship store provides survival essentials. The micro market extends access to 24/7. The barbershop maintains dignity and discipline. The laundry service ensures hygiene standards. The coffee shop offers moments of comfort. None exist in isolation. Each supports the others, and the innovation continues. Short term, expect micro markets to expand across the carrier fleet. The Eisenhower's success, $200,000 in sales, 0 theft, validated the concept. More carriers are already scheduled for installation. Medium term, advanced inventory systems like X4 will become standard, enabling predictive analytics to forecast demand and optimize resupply. AI-driven supply chain management will reduce waste and prevent stockouts. Long-term, fully autonomous retail operations may become standard. Self-checkout systems integrated with AI inventory management, requiring minimal human oversight while delivering 100% uptime. Retail services specialists will shift entirely to high-touch services like barbershops and customer support, while automated systems handle transactions. But the core mission won't change. These stores exist because the Navy recognized a fundamental truth. Humans need more than food and water to function under extreme stress. They need choice, dignity, normalcy, and small rituals that remind them they're still human. The stores aren't luxuries, they're morale infrastructure. And morale infrastructure is readiness infrastructure. Captain Uribe said it best. These systems are not merely administrative tools. They are a critical warfighting enabler. A sailor who can buy their preferred snack at midnight, who gets a fresh haircut before family video calls, who has clean uniforms and a decent cup of coffee. That sailor performs better, makes fewer mistakes, stays mentally resilient during months at sea. The ship's store wins the survival comparison. But it only works because the entire ecosystem supports human dignity alongside physical needs. That's the genius you'll only find on aircraft carriers, not just solving logistics, but solving humanity.